Hi, my name is Sarah Canny and I am going to walk you through my dynamic run warm-up today. Usually I start with leg swings, so you can go ahead and grab onto something steady and go ahead and swing your leg front and back. Usually I go about 20 on each side. So we'll go ahead and switch. Even if you have just 5 minutes, choosing a few of these moves before your run is a great way to prevent injury and help your body limber up before you head out. So after leg swings, then I do a little bit of hip rotation here, usually about 10 reps to the front and then reverse direction and 10 reps to the back. We'll go ahead and switch and do the same on this side and then reverse and go the opposite direction. So after that, I do a front fold where I extend my leg out in front of me and then fold over, stretch down towards the floor, big exaggerated movements, and a nice stretch through the hamstring and the calf, usually about 10 on each side for this one. Then after that, I usually go to a figure 4 stretch. So you can hold on to something here to keep your balance, or you can just go ahead and do it on your own. So you're basically making a figure 4 with your legs and getting a nice stretch here through the hip. And after I've done that about 10 times on each side, then I like to do a side lunge, just back and forth, getting a nice stretch down in through here. 10 on each side, usually again for this. And then after I finish up with that, go to kind of a drop lunge here and stretch, or crescent pose. Not holding it for too long, but just enough to get a nice deep stretch through the hip flexors here. So again, 10 on each side. Then after I finish up that, I'm going to want to do a quad stretch. So again, holding on to something steady or standing on your own. Not necessarily holding it for a prolonged period of time, but giving a nice gentle stretch on each side. Then I do a sequence that really helps open my hips. I tend to have a really tight hip flexors, tight hamstring. So this sequence I've come up with on my own, and it suits me really well, and it might be really helpful for you as well if you have tight hips. So typically I start in a downward dog position and go ahead and pedal my feet, stretching through the calf and the foot. And then I bring my leg in and then take it out like this, rotating the hip open. And I found that this gives me just a really good stretch in through the hip and the hamstring. So I usually do about 10 on each side, opening up the hip. And once I finish with that, I bring my leg through. I bring my leg through and then bend and straighten. This is kind of like a pseudo yoga sequence, but it feels good. And so I do it before every run. So after doing this bend and extend 10 times, I then twist open to the front and then to the other side. I do this about 10 times as well. The other option is for you to drop down a little bit, and you can do it down here too. Just getting some good rotation. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. And we'll start with the bend and extend. Now, if you can't touch the floor, then you could come up with your hands on your hips. And then if you need, you could always use a yoga block or a cushion or something here to bring that hand up if you need it. So rotating open and then to the other side. Just getting a good stretch through the hamstring and a nice rotation in the trunk. All right. And that's the dynamic warm-up. And if you have time before your next run to do a few glute activation drills, they'll definitely help you out on the run to make sure you're engaging that glute. And that is going to help prevent injury, keep your hamstrings safe and healthy, and also your knees as well. So here are a few glute activation drills that I do. So one requires a band. So you want to go ahead and put this band just above your knees. And we're going to do a glute hold. So grab onto something steady and go ahead and lift your leg to the back and kind of to the side. So really you're turning on the glute here, using that to engage and hold everything in place. So if you can see, it's not directly lateral, it's kind of to the back. So what you could do is bring it out to the side and then bring it back until you feel that glute turn on. So we hold this for a minute on each side. So again, to the side and then back until we feel that glute really turn on. And you could repeat that hold 1 minute on each side for up to 4 reps if you want to. But that's a great way to activate the glute before you head out on the run. Another one that doesn't require the band is what I like to call the runner pose. So we're gonna go back into a drop lunge and then come up and back down. Come up into a running pose and back down. So we're just mimicking that running motion and the push-off phase, really activating that entire chain and getting that glute to fire. So you could do 10 on each side. So we'll switch to this side. Again, just working on activation and stability, getting ready to head out on the run.